I'm State Senator Jamie Eldridge. Welcome to another edition of Half Hour on the Hill. One of the discussions that is up on Beacon Hill this session is raising the minimum wage. The Senate in November voted to raise the minimum wage to $11 an hour by 2016. The current minimum wage is $8 an hour. And it's part of a conversation that's happening throughout this session about raising the minimum wage across Massachusetts for hundreds of thousands of workers. I wanted to invite to my show someone who is a friend and constituent who earns the minimum wage and talk a little bit about her experiences. So Maureen, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to see you. And we've known each other for over 10 years, so
Yep.
since I've first been elected, representing the Ayer-Shirley area. And we've had lots of conversations about different things, and I know most recently we talked about the minimum wage.
Right.
So I wanted first if you could talk about what do you do for a living right now?
I work for a supermarket chain.
Okay. And what do you earn per hour right now?
I earn $9 an hour. I've been with that company for 4 years.
Okay. Okay. And you're a cashier?
Cashier.
Okay. And how do you like the job?
I like my job.
Yeah.
It's fun. I have a relationship with most of my customers.
Yep.
Worked for another supermarket chain previous, so I know a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of them seek me out.
Yep.
But would like to earn more money.
Right.
More hours.
Absolutely. And how long have you been working? I mean, I know you've been working all your life, but how many years have you been working full time?
Well, I only work part time.
Mm-hmm.
We're allowed 32 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
max.
Okay, so the supermarket's not allowing you to work more than
Right.
that. Yep. Okay.
Unless you go into there's a full-time position and you and everybody else applies for it because it's internally posted.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you could have to change stores. It's not necessarily within your store.
Okay.
So then you go to a full-time status, then you're transferable. You can
Okay.
be transferred wherever.
Mm-hmm. But you've been working. Have you earned the minimum wage or just above most of the time been working, or has there been a time when you earned more than that? Or
There was a time I earned more than that,
Mm-hmm.
like double what I'm making.
Okay.
And
And what were you doing then?
I was working for another supermarket chain.
Okay.
And,
Okay. But for at least the past 4 years, you've been earning just either at or above the
Right. I started at
wage.
minimum wage 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so now I'm at 9
So you now gain an additional $1 per hour
in
over
4
4
years.
Yep. Okay. And you talked a little bit about your schedule, and so because they're not offering you full time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have health care benefits? Do you have 401k? What kind of benefits do you get?
I don't have health care. I do have a profit sharing account that they put into. I don't
Okay.
put into it. They put it in.
Okay.
They are very good to us
Mm-hmm.
as far as, service bonus checks. We get those.
Mm-hmm.
We never know when they're coming. They just show up.
Okay.
So it's always a nice surprise.
Sure.
They do give everybody part-time, full-time Christmas bonuses,
Okay.
which is nice to have this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Things have been tough for me this year, so the extra time in, and I grab as many hours as I can.
Yep.
So
And you mentioned you're not provided health insurance by your employer.
Right.
So what kind of health care do you receive?
I receive state health care through Commonwealth Care,
Okay.
which as of January is no longer.
Because of the implementation
Yep.
of the Affordable Care Act. Yep.
Correct. And so I will actually go back to Mass Health.
Okay. And how do you feel about Mass Health in general?
Great.
Yeah.
I go back to Mass Health. I can keep all my doctors,
Mm-hmm.
where with Commonwealth Care, I couldn't. And it has caused medical issues because I can't see a particular physician that I need to see.
Okay.
So in January, I will be able to go back and take care of what I need to do.
Okay. So Mass Health you feel is a more comprehensive health insurance for you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I know we've talked about this before, but I know that we've talked about the dental care.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, if you go back to Mass Health, will you be able to get some form of dental care?
I'm not sure. I used to be able to just get cleanings, extractions. They don't cover dental coverage for adults once you hit a certain age, or are no longer what they consider a family. Even though my daughter lives with me, we're not a family. So she drops off onto her own plan. I drop off to my own plan. But yet I'm still responsible for her.
Right, exactly, of course. Proud mother.
You know, and that's okay.
Yep. And you, I know that until recently you lived in Ayer, so I've always seen you there. And what is it? I mean, what is it like living, surviving on just above minimum wage in Massachusetts? What are some of the choices you have to make? What is life like?
Well, you really have to pick and choose carefully what you're going to do. You have to learn how to budget. You know, that's my big thing is learning how to budget. You can't do all the extras. I don't qualify for a lot of programs because I'm over income.
Okay, right. Because
by state guidelines, I may be over $5, and you don't qualify.
Right.
Which is a shame. There are people out there who need the help and can't get it. And then there's the ones that abuse it, which make it harder on everybody else. And I see that every day in my job. But for me, I couldn't tell you when the last time I was able to take a vacation.
Okay.
And my daughter's 20. I haven't seen my sister since my daughter was 6.
Okay. So do you don't get paid vacation time?
I don't get paid vacation time.
Okay. No. Do you earn sick time? Like if you're really sick, can you? Okay.
No sick time. So if you're out sick, you don't get paid. You do have bereavement time if you lose a family member. At the discretion of the store manager.
Okay.
So it's, you know, it's the way it is. It's the way a lot of companies are going. If they don't have to pay the benefits, if they don't have to do that, then they won't do that.
And having worked at a couple of different companies, have you seen a shift where there were fewer benefits provided to service workers, to minimum wage workers? Have you seen a shift where you're either getting fewer hours, or you're not getting health care, or you're getting fewer savings benefits, or has there been a change in the industry? Or
there has been a change in the industry, and with my old company too. They are getting away from the full-time status.
Okay.
Those employees that have been with the company for a long time, they're coming up with, you know, you're an employee at will.
Okay.
If you do one thing they don't like, they can remove you from the company, and they don't have to give you a reason. You could be making $20 an hour, but because your entire benefit package is, say, you're making $80,000 a year, who wants to pay a cashier $80,000 a year? They don't want to do that anymore. When they can replace you with 3 people, make a minimum wage.
Right. Absolutely.
And that's what they're all doing. You see it more and more.
And in terms of your costs, what are your biggest costs to provide for your daughter and your household and upkeep of your place?
Well, you have rent, electric, heat if your heat's not included, air conditioning if that's not included. You have food, you have a car, you have insurance, out-of-pocket expenses, you know, for just daily living.
So at the end of the month, I mean, are you finding yourself putting off paying certain bills, or
Absolutely.
there delays? Okay.
I do, absolutely. I have to. You know, I may pay one bill one month and pay the, you know, another bill the next month, or, you know, put a little here and a little here, and, you know, to stay above water. And it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. I don't live at home. Both my parents are gone.
Yep.
And so for people I work with who are my age and they still live at home with their parents,
Right.
okay, that works for you. But I have bills to pay too, and I need my hours too.
Yeah.
So, you know, and luckily I've had a great store manager who's been, you know, really good about making sure that I have my 32 hours, you know.
Sure, sure.
And I do work Sundays.
Yep.
Not that I want to work every Sunday, but I have to.
Right, you have to.
It's time and a half.
Right, absolutely.
If I don't work a Sunday, it's like losing 2 days' pay.
And of the pay that you earn, what % of that goes to your rent? Just curious. Do you have an idea? Is it half, or?
Yeah, it's probably half. Yeah, half, maybe more than half.
Okay, okay.
It's not, the rents around here aren't cheap. I mean,
Right. Very expensive housing in this area, and rents
Very.
continue to go up. Yep.
very expensive, and not a lot of it. And if you have pets, you know, I have a handicapped dog, you know, and to find a place where he can be with us, you know, that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. Most landlords don't like pets. So I never wanted to rent all my life, but that's the way, you know, that's the way it's been.
And I know that you recently found a new place to live and did an apartment search. Tell me about that. Was that a real challenge, looking for another apartment?
It was. It was a huge challenge. And I had to move where I really didn't, further away than what I really wanted to, but I had to go where I could afford to live. From working 20 minutes from home,
Right.
now living 45, 50 minutes from home.
Yeah.
So it's more gas.
Yep.
I don't have a brand new car. I mean, my car died.
How old's your car?
It's a 93.
93. Okay, so it's 20 years old.
It's 20
Yeah.
years old.
Yep.
That a good friend found for me. So it's, you know, it's not easy. You know,
Right.
they need repairs. They need this. You got to do that.
Yep.
You know, I'm lucky that I've had some really good friends that have helped me through a difficult time. My family's been really good.
That's great.
So it's just,
Yeah.
you know, I would have loved to have stayed 20 minutes from work because,
Right.
you know, but
So, Maureen, I appreciate you telling me a little bit about your circumstance now. We're gonna take a break, and I want to talk a little bit more about sort of aspirations and ideas for helping minimum wage workers. So we're gonna take a break right now, and we'll be back in just a moment with the second half of Half Hour in the Hill.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who do something, the people who take action, are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Ugh, Oh,
Was it good?
oh God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Half Hour on the Hill. I'm State Senator Jamie Eldridge, and we're discussing the minimum wage, and I have here with me friend and constituent Maureen Parlon, who earns just above the minimum wage right now in the area. And Maureen, we talked a little bit about what your life is like and sort of the challenges of earning just above the minimum wage. I think you said right now you earn $9 an hour. And just wondering, sort of, are there things that you feel that state government could do a better job in terms of, you know, improving your economic security or workforce training or things that, you know, sort of maybe could get you to the next level of, you know, having a better paycheck or maybe a different profession? Are there things over the years that you've thought about that, or any programs you've ever looked at? You know, college programs, workforce training, is that, those things ever come to mind?
They have come to mind. I would love to go back to school. Don't know what I'd want to do yet. I'm not getting any younger.
Yep.
But I just, to find the time to do that and to work,
Yep.
it's hard. It's, you know, I'm exhausted by the time I get home after work. I'm on my feet all day.
Yep.
So come 6, 7 o'clock, I'm ready to, you know, sit down and watch TV and relax. But I mean, I would love to find a better job. You know, I'd be happy to work full time. I've always worked. I've worked since I was 14.
14, okay. What did you start doing when you were 14? Just
I
curious.
worked at the Littleton 5 and 10.
Oh,
that
geez. I didn't know they had a 5 and 10.
They
Okay.
did. It was beside, right on the Common, across from Banks Automotive, next to the supermarket there. And that's what I filled the shelves. And
may I ask, do you remember what you earned per hour then?
oh my gosh, it was probably $3 and something back then. I
Okay.
don't remember.
Okay.
But I was, you know,
It was
in
2 decades ago? Or,
yeah, in middle school or something like that. And that was my first job. And
Right.
that's how I first learned how to make change. And,
Yeah.
you know,
So
those
in
were
2
the old...
decades, it hasn't really increased much, considering that everything else has gone up.
No, it really hasn't. I mean, everything goes up, but everybody's paychecks. My rent could go up, you know, $50. That doesn't mean that, you know, my paycheck went up $50.
Yeah.
I know that I have a sibling who, you know, every time his Social Security goes up, his rent goes up. So you can never get ahead. There's never
Right.
that ahead, you know, you
Just
get
fighting
that
to stay
one.
even.
Yeah, you do. And if you make even, you're doing okay. You know, you know, I don't make 6 figures a year. I'd be
Right.
lucky if I make 2.
Right.
You know, and
And I know that over the past couple of years, you've had some healthcare challenges.
I have.
And how have you dealt with the bills that have come in with that? I mean, how burdensome has that been with the health insurance that you had or that you have?
With the health problems I've had, or
Just the different, you know, procedures and going to see doctors, has that resulted in a lot of medical bills, or?
not for me. It hasn't.
Okay.
As far as I went through a period, the out-of-pocket expense for co-payments.
Right. Okay.
That gets expensive. My co-payments for prescriptions probably ran me between $100 and $125 a month.
Wow.
Extra.
Okay. And did you find yourself getting behind on those, or putting in a credit card, or what? How did you deal with that? Are you able to pay it, or?
I wasn't able to pay it. Working with my pharmacist, being on the program I am, if you can't afford your co-payment in the state, you don't have to pay it.
Okay.
And that happened to me because they were just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
I
right.
just didn't have the extra. If I had the extra money, it was to put groceries in the house, or keep the lights on, or pay the car insurance, or, you know, try and stay ahead. It's been a struggle. It's been
Yeah.
the last 2 years have been, you know, I've always managed to stay above, but
Right.
the last 2 years I really haven't done that. And
Yeah.
it's just been tough.
Yeah. I'm really sorry. And I know you've had health insurance, and then you're going to move to Mass Health. Is that correct? Or
Right, I'm be leaving Commonwealth Care because they are going to be no longer. They're dissolving that program.
right.
So then I will go back to what I'm told. I will go back to
That's true.
straight
Yep.
Mass Health, which means that I will be able to see the doctors that I want to see. I will be able to go back into Boston. We have great hospitals. We
Yep.
should be able to utilize them. I don't think
Everyone should. Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
think that anybody in government or anything should be telling us who we can and cannot see. I think that we should be able to see the physicians that we want to see. We shouldn't have to see physicians they think we should see.
Sure.
I have a doctor who's a specialist, and he only does, you know, specialty work, and I've been a patient of his for 10 years, and I trust him, and I will not see anybody else. So I'll wait till January, and then I will go back and get my situation straightened out, and that's just the way it is. I just don't think people have the right to tell people, you know, just
Sure.
because other people may have Blue Cross, or they may have this, or they may have that. That's not fair to those of us. I still work. I still pay into this. I still pay my taxes.
Yeah, you pay your taxes, Social Security. Yep.
You know, I still do all that. I mean, so, and I've paid into Social Security since I was 14.
Yep.
So I think the people who have put into it are entitled to use it.
Sure.
You know.
Let me ask this: do you feel or believe that healthcare is a right? Do you feel it should be a right, as opposed to health insurance and sort of a consumer product? Is that something you've considered?
I don't think you should be forced to take health care. I think you should be able to choose your health care.
Yep.
You should be able to choose your doctors.
Sure.
And some of the state programs, they mandate who, what, where, how, and I don't think that's right.
Sure.
If you already have a relationship with your physician, you should be able to keep that relationship with your physician.
Yeah.
You know, I can't afford co-payments for my physicians. You know, for me to see my orthopedist, co-payment for him is $18. Well, for me, $18 is gas in the car.
Yeah, and 2 hours of work too.
2 hours of work. You know, so I mean, it's for me, it's penny pinching. It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm not alone. I'm
Yeah.
not alone. I see it every day in my job, working at the supermarket. You know,
Yeah.
all the moms and the dads. You know, there's moms and dads. You know, that are single parents, or someone's laid off or whatever, and you know, I guess I'm thankful to have a job that I'm making something. But I mean, $9 an hour just doesn't cut it.
Right. Right.
You know, I can't even afford to go to the movies.
So you're not going to the movies. You're not going to restaurants. You know, just sort of trying to make your bills each month, and it's difficult on its own.
Right. It is. It is difficult.
If you had another career aspiration, I mean, what would you like to do? What would be your ideal job? Just curious.
I would definitely have to be like customer service orientated, because I've always liked that.
Yep.
Believe it or not, before I had my daughter, who's 20, I was a nurse's aide for a long time.
Okay.
In healthcare. Unfortunately, I'm not able to continue that line of work because I loved it.
Okay.
I'd probably be still doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
but for health reasons, I can't do it.
Yep.
But
It's
I
something
just,
dealing directly with people, helping
yeah,
people.
you know, something directly, making a positive impact for somebody. I've had some very helpful people in my life, and people that have helped me through a difficult time. And it's, you know, like my dad always said, pay it forward.
Yep.
You know, if somebody can do it for you, can you do something to pay it forward? And I try to.
Sure.
You know, I try to, if I can. You know, my number one priority is, you know, me and my daughter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and keeping a roof over our heads. And
And now that you seem a little more settled financially, and hopefully this bill to raise the minimum wage will pass this session, which I think would, over the next 2 years, it would significantly increase the money that's coming in earning minimum wage. It's still, in my opinion, it's not a living wage, but it would help a little bit. Would you consider, if there was a program that fit in with your schedule, to take a night course or workforce training to find another profession? I mean, would that be of interest to you, or?
absolutely.
Okay.
I would absolutely. Anything I could do to better myself, you know, to find a better job or to do things to make myself better, you know, so I'm not struggling.
Yep.
You know, at my age, I just, you know, I've been a single parent.
Yep.
I raised my daughter by myself. I mean, I have my family, my mom, you know, my siblings.
Yep.
You know, she grew up with her cousin, and, you know, she's had what she needed, not necessarily everything she wanted. You
Yep.
know, she had what she needed, and she still has what she needs. Not necessarily everything they want,
Right.
but what they need. And I, you know, through a lot of bumps,
Yep.
somehow it seems to be okay, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's very eloquently said, and you know, as you and I have talked, just the challenges of you know, of having economic insecurity, of earning minimum wage. So I really appreciate your telling your story, and I hope you realize it sort of helps add you know, put a face to the issue of minimum wage. So thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I hope it, you know, I hope it goes through. I think it'll benefit a lot of people out there, you know, including my own child, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I know kids that are less than half my age that make more money than I do.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and that's,
I know.
it's frustrating.
I know.
It's frustrating, but it is what it is.
I know. Well, Maureen, thanks again. And this is the end of Half Hour of the Hill. Thank you very much for joining us, and appreciate you tuning in.